Hello everyone, happy Friday. It is April the 5th, 2024. My name is Kyle, and this, of course, is Maker Notes. I am here with Mrs. Olson, as usual, and we are talking about this beautiful cardigan that Louisa just finished. The pattern is called Squish, and it is a pattern that is designed by Andrea Rangal. This came out the end of January of this year, of 2024, and it is a classic cabled cardigan. It's got this raglan detail, like it's right here, this little raglan shaping. It's worked in pieces. And there's cables everywhere, so cables down the sleeves, on both fronts, across the back, and it has this really beautiful garter collar, and then of course a button closure. It comes in lots and lots of different sizes, all the way from finished size of the garment, 35 inch, all the way up to 68.5 inch, and that would be the finished size of the garment at the chest circumference. So lots of different size options. The smallest one will need 7 hanks of the yarn that we are talking about today. And of course, it's gonna be the yarn that Louisa made hers out of, and it happens to be Simply Natural. So Louisa's is done in color 3, which is this. It is the natural color. This yarn itself is 40% alpaca, 40% merino wool, and 20% mulberry silk. In this hank, there are 183 yards. And so the small size, the smallest one, size A, is 35 inch, and you'll need 7 hanks of this yarn to make the size A, the very first size in the collection. You're gonna get 20% off of this yarn now through Sunday, which is really awesome. And if you buy 7 or more hanks, because 7 is the minimum for the first size, 7 or more, we're gonna purchase this pattern for you as a gift. So if you have a Ravelry account, tell us your Ravelry name, and we'll add the pattern to your library there digitally. If you don't have Ravelry or you don't use it, then that's okay too. We're still gonna buy the pattern from Andrea through Ravelry, and we'll send the digital pattern to whatever email you use when you check out. We also print a copy, so don't worry about that. Not everyone has printers in their homes, so we print a copy, we put it in a page protector, and we include that along with the yarn and all the other things that you are making your purchase, you're buying. And so when that package shows up, you have the yarn ready to wind and cast on. You have the pattern printed out and ready to go, and that is pretty exciting. So we're excited to get to do this for you, and 20% off of Simply Natural now through Sunday is a fantastic deal, even on its own. So if you have other ideas that you'd like to do, maybe you want to make a cowl or something that just uses a couple hanks of this yarn, take advantage of the 20% off. That's a great time to do that. Buttons. So the button that Louisa chose came out of our button room, and that is something that is closed to the public. But from our showroom, if you go through this secret door, employees only, well, it's not secret, I guess it's a door, but you go through this door, and in this room, there are just bin after bin on shelf after shelf of buttons. And I think there's 1,000 different button SKUs, different ones, in lots of sizes and colors and different materials. The ones that Louisa chose are fluted leather, and they were made in the US. And they were sewn on, of course, to finish up this piece. So how's the garment made? It is worked in panels. I always, when I'm doing a project like this, I start with the sleeve. Sleeves have a smaller cast on. I can sort out the pattern, make sure I understand everything about it. And it's not as daunting to rip out a sleeve as it is to rip out, let's say, the back of a project. So I'll do the 2 sleeves, then usually the 2 fronts, and I'll finish with the back. That way I never get stuck on Sleeve Island, which is where we find ourselves when we're finishing a garment and all we have left to do are the sleeves. It seems like it takes forever. And so you get all those pieces made, you seam them all together, and then pick up and do the button band and collar, and then sew on the buttons, and you're done. Colors. What colors would you do? Well, Louisa chose natural, like I said. There's lots of different ones to pick. This is gray flannel. This is color 99. And the thing that's really cool about Simply Natural is the little tiny bit of mulberry silk that's in it gives it a tiny bit of sheen, which is wonderful. When you look at yarn in its hank and you just take a peek and you can see very clearly the defined strands of yarn, the different yarn as they're wound together. When you can see how clear they are like that, that's sort of a clue that it might be a really good yarn for things like cables and textured knitting. So this is flannel. There are, I'm not going to show you all of them because there's lots. This is deep turquoise. This is color number 10. And I think that's really pretty. And you can see that little bit of highlighting the little lighter specks in there. That's also the silk. Then there's this really pretty red. This is crimson. This is color 46. You see that cardigan in this beautiful deep red? That is gorgeous. I love that. Then we have, for all of our purple loving friends, this is eggplant. This is color 140. Really beautiful deep purple. Very moody. And then just for fun, I think, what are you called? Gold crest, yes. This is color 57, this really fun gold color. But like I said, there's lots of other ones to choose from. Choose your favorite color, add 7 or more of those to your cart and check out now until Sunday or through Sunday, get 20% off of the yarn. And if you're buying 7 or more, we're gonna get you that pattern as a gift as well. The buttons, go ahead and choose those as well. You will want to enjoy the 50% off of buttons. So if you have projects that need buttons, now is a good time to get some of those and feed that button collection. It should be fed regularly, I hear. The pattern itself is, oh, I should say what size. So buttons are done in millimeters, and this is a 20 millimeter button. So anywhere about an inch, 24 millimeters, an inch or so. So 20 millimeter would be a good size. Back to the pattern. So the pattern itself, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. The pattern itself is a charted pattern, so we need to know how to read knitting charts. But you'll have that printed pattern, so you can put it on a magnetic board if you are an analog person like me. Of course, you can also import the pattern into a digital pattern management software if you like to do that. But I love having paper and I love these boards. So this is from Lowran, sorry about the glare. This is just a metal board, and it has a series of little magnets and then one magnet that has a ruler on it. So what I do is I'll take my printed pattern and actually tape it to the board. So I'll fold the edges around and put a piece of tape here, and this will be where my chart is. And then I'll use that ruler to show me where, what row I'm on, and I show all of the rows below that. So I have my ruler and I'm using the bottom of the ruler to block all of the future rows, because I don't really care about the future. I only care about the row I'm on and what happened before. And that way I can line all this stuff up. I love these. I think they're awesome. They are available. We just got a few of these back in stock, I think last week. So that is the Lowran magnetic board. I talked to you about this. I talked about the yarn. Now let's talk about a class. So Faina Goberstein is going to be teaching a workshop. It's an online workshop. This is going to be on the 18th of April, which is a Thursday, from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. This is online through Zoom, so you can do it from your house. And this is all about perfecting buttonholes and button bands. So here is a good example of when you might need a workshop like this. She's gonna teach you how to calculate the ratio for the buttonholes, like where they need to go on that button band based on your gauge, and how to place the buttons, and also just the practical way of how to actually attach buttons, because not everyone necessarily knows how to do that. One little tiny trick that I could mention about this is there is a button backer, which is right here. It's hard to see on here. I'm going to take this off and show you what that is. The button backer, sorry, Mrs. Olson, she's like, it's cold now, is a little tiny button, and it's going to be impossible to see. But it is a clear button that helps to support the weight of that button on the front. So that's kind of cool. The backer buttons are available as well. something worth checking out. So I think that's it. Well, now that, sorry, I'm not going to put it back on you because I have to give this back to Louisa. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Enjoy the opportunity to check out Simply Natural as a yarn to consider through Sunday. Enjoy the 20% off. Enjoy half off the buttons. And I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Bye.